Welcome, everybody, to the very next episode of The Remedy with Tova Sido and
Janice Gaunt and
Tom Bridwell.
welcome back, Tom.
Oh, Tom.
Ahoy,
poor
mateys.
Tom.
Tom just got off a yacht.
He's been on a yacht. Oh my gosh. And I've been going to physical therapy for my shoulder. Poor me.
How was it, Tom? How was your trip?
It was unbelievable, an unforgettable experience, and yes, I'm glad to be back, but it was hard to get off of that boat, I'll tell you. The people that own yachts have quite a life.
Yeah.
I
That's
could do
for
that.
sure.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how amazing that experience could be.
What was one of your favorite memories or experiences?
Well, I got a funny memory I can regale.
Okay, good.
Let's do it.
So on like the third day, I was swimming in the back of the boat there, or off the back. It didn't have a pool, just a hot tub.
Oh.
Well, you also had the Mediterranean.
Yes,
so
we were
you
swimming in the
fine.
Mediterranean, and I was looking at the boat from the side, like the profile, and it had a crane that lifted the toys off of the top deck into the water. So when we wanted to like jet ski, they would use this big crane to lift the toys. And I saw this crane, and I thought it would be fun to jump off of that crane into the water. And so I asked the captain if that was okay. He says people do it all the time. And one of the crew members escorted me up there. He wanted to watch and explain to me what to do so I wouldn't hurt myself.
Oh, boy.
But I hurt my bottom.
But speaking of
Yes,
butts.
I hurt my butt bouncing off of a boat into the ocean. Like, I think I either have a bruised or broken coccyx.
Wait, what? What's a
Yes.
coccyx?
You hit the boat on the way
No,
down?
No. I jumped into the water, but it's a 4.5-story drop. And, I'm not exactly a small person. I'm big. So there was a ton of weight that I basically absorbed on my skinny butt.
Oh.
So
And
what's a coccyx?
It's your
The
tailbone.
cock?
It's
I
coccyx.
thought it was your penis.
No. COCCYX.
Phew, glad that didn't break.
No doubt. That would be a bummer.
Be a bummer.
Now I just broke my bum.
Oh,
But
like your
I-
tailbone.
Yes, it's your tailbone. It's
Yeah.
Is it still sore?
It's more than sore. Like, it's hard for me to get up and down out of chairs when I drive. It sucks. Like, I haven't gotten in and out of a golf cart, but I know that's going to suck too.
How long is that going to hurt? Are you bruised?
Well,
did you have a big bruise?
I don't have a bruise on my skin, but there's definite soreness in the very top center of my crack, like right where that tailbone is. There's this unbelievable pain. So like when I cough or I get up and down from a chair, or it's weird. It's
Do you need to go to the doctor?
I'm going next Monday to get an X-ray because I want to know if it's broken or bruised.
Wonder what they do if it's broken.
You basically
Probably
wait it
nothing.
out. I just need to find out if it's going to be 4 weeks or 8 weeks.
Yeah. So you just might have to. Oh,
It's the
ow.
worst. But hey, I was going to
Well-
say bougie, boat bounce,
Yeah, bougie
broken
boat.
butt, alliteration.
Broken butt.
Dang.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that sounds terrible.
When I was in my accident, I got one of the bones that I broke was my sacrum, which is down at the bottom of your back and almost to the tailbone. And ooh, baby, that hurts to like. It's just that place of compression, you know?
Yes.
Like you have no idea how important every little bone in your body is.
And it didn't hurt when I landed in the water. Like,
Oh,
I came up
interesting.
out of the water, and it kind of felt like a pretty hard spanking, like with one wallop. I sort of leaned back and I
stories. What's
4.5
wrong
stories, yeah.
with you?
Well, it seemed fun at the time.
Did
And
anybody else do it?
Maureen did it and didn't get hurt.
Good for Maureen.
But anyway, it was one of those things where it didn't come on until like later that night. And I was like, oh my God, I think I did something. And the guy was like, yes, you leaned back a little too far.
Oh, but that's better than a face plant.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt.
That's better
no
than
doubt.
forward.
And that captain has seen it all. He showed us a couple of videos of some even like really bad fails. Of people that he filmed jumping off the top there. But
I bet. I mean, if you're jumping 4.5 stories, there's a lot of time for your body to move or turn or
No
flail
doubt.
about. Like,
you know, when you do a jackknife, you know, you sort of lean back a little to get the most splash. Well, that's basically what I did unintentionally.
well, you are
Okay.
bougie.
Well, I would not be doing that.
Yeah, well, you
I'm
live
a
and learn.
I'm a chicken.
Probably won't ever get another opportunity, so I took it, and
I would have too.
maybe it was worth it.
Yeah, I think if you jumped out of a 4-story building, it'd take you out.
Yeah, no doubt.
And that's
That's far.
that's
That's
far.
a tall.
I wonder if
boat.
my grandparents would have advised against that.
I think they would have. Speaking of,
that goes with our topic that we need to thank our sponsor today. Sweet Craig's sister, Sherry, is our
Sherry.
sponsor for the next 2 episodes.
Sherry, that is so kind.
I know. She
Yay, and generous.
She sent it and she gave it for my birthday. My birthday was while he
Yes.
was on the bougie boat.
Happy birthday. Did you get my message?
Yes, I did.
I
So
sang
cute.
to her.
I love it. I love it.
I want to take you to dinner to celebrate your birthday.
Let's
so
do
let's
it.
pick a night.
Yeah, Tom
Yep.
too. Come on, Tom.
And
Yeah, that'd
Okay.
be so fun.
Yeah.
And yours is coming.
September.
Yep. Hey, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's right around the corner. Okay, so the episode that she's sponsoring, the 2 episodes are this week and next, and we are going to talk about an article that I found in Country Life. It's under Inspiring Stories, and the title of the article is 29 Things All Grandparents Want Their Grandkids to Know. So when I was thinking about what should we talk about this week, I thought, you know, one of the coolest things about our audience is the incredibly broad spectrum of
of
people,
age.
ages,
Yeah.
genders. And I thought, you know, we don't spend a whole lot of time talking to grandparent age specifically. We do a lot of parenting or young married stuff or old married stuff. But I thought about grandparents. You know, we have a lot of people who are grandparents that listen.
Speaking of me.
That listen to our podcast. And
Uh-huh.
so I thought it might be fun. But the thing about this topic is it's kind of like advice, I guess, that this person, the writer of this article, thinks that grandparents should or often do pass down to their grandkids. When I sent this to you and Tom, one of the things that I wrote is I think this will be an interesting topic because I don't even agree with all of these.
Yeah. I don't either. I scanned through them, but I don't either. But a lot of them I do.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. But you being a grandparent, it
Yeah.
would be fun to see
Yeah.
your perspective. Like,
Yeah.
is this something you would find valuable to pass on to your grandchildren?
You know, I may be a little different than a lot of grandmothers in that I don't perceive that my job is to correct my children or to
Or your grandchildren.
or my children or my grandchildren, specifically my grandchildren. Oh, I don't my children either. So I am pretty I mean, I'll make a suggestion, and I was reading through these. I thought it's fun. The ones that I would say, and then the ones that I wouldn't, you know. But because that's one of the joys of being a grandparent is your job is not to parent; it's just to enjoy primarily, and
Just to love them.
Yeah, just love them. That's pretty much it. So yeah, so I think this is fun. I think it's interesting.
I do really appreciate that perspective. I think it's such, you know, I'm sure you have counseled many a couple. I counsel many couples, especially as they're getting married. trying to navigate and figure out what is the role of the parents now.
Yeah.
Because they've had such a very specific role for so long, and now their primary loyalty triangle is changing.
Yeah.
And, they're not the most important. Their parents are no longer the most important thing, and vice versa.
Yeah.
It just changes.
Yeah,
So,
it does.
Okay, so do you want to read tackle number 1? There's 29 of them, so we're going to split this up into two episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'll start.
Okay.
Numero uno. There's a true love for everyone. And then this woman says, my grandmother always told me there's a lid for every pot, a mate for everyone. I totally trusted her on that, and it helped me find my own soulmate. I even wrote a few books on the topic. Ariel Ford, La Jolla, California. So I don't know what that a true
like a true love, a soulmate.
So a soulmate, I'm not a big soulmate person. I don't really believe that. But I do think there is someone for everyone.
Yep.
Someone that they can love.
Yep.
So there are a lot of options out there.
Yep.
And so that's the take that I would do on that one. And I think the thing that is that's helpful for this is when you do tell your grandchildren or even your children, especially after a breakup or if somebody's cheated or a heartbreak, then you can say, yes, but there will be somebody else. Mm-hmm. Because it's not like you got to go looking through the bushes. There's not one particular person.
Right.
I think we are capable of loving several people.
Yeah, I do too.
So anyway, so that's how I would take that and change it just a little bit. Because a true love, I don't know.
That makes it sound like you got to find him.
Yeah.
Like if I believed I had a soulmate and there was one person on the planet for Tova Sido, that'd be exhausting. That puts way too much pressure on relationships.
Yeah, I agree.
At least in my mind.
Yeah, I think so too. And especially because you're divorced, I'm divorced. And so if we felt like that was our particular soulmate and the only one true love for us, then because you loved your first husband, I loved my first husband. Yeah. And so then if you think there's that one person and that was it, then you would not get out of a marriage if you felt like you needed to get out. So anyway, so that's a little different.
Me too.
Okay.
Number 2, have money of your own. One piece of wisdom from my grandmother that has always served me well is always have your own money and pretend the snakes are on it. In other words, be sure you have a rainy day fund that only you can access. What do you think?
Yes, I believe that. I think that's important.
Why do you think it's so important to have your own fund that only you can touch?
Well, I think it gives you some freedom to do with that money without talking with somebody else about it. Like if it's a joint checking
or being questioned.
Yeah, if they're like Tom and I have a joint checking account, and then I have my own checking account, and he has a separate account. And so if I want to buy a pair of, expensive shoes, I'm not going to go do that out of our joint account. That will come from my account, so my own money. So I can do that if I want to set it on fire, which I don't. But if I did, I could because I don't have any sort of I think because money can be an issue in a marriage, I think that we have to be mindful, or we want to be mindful about how we spend our joint account money.
Very much so.
Yeah.
The thing that I've learned and witnessed in counseling, especially couples before they get married, because one of the topics we approach is what do we do about money?
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of men think that the money that women spend on like hair products and skincare and Botox and shoes, that's ridiculous. But I mean, switch it out. Like men often spend, they might have gambling debts. They might
Fishing,
bet on a game,
fishing poles,
Play golf.
Golf,
Yes,
yeah.
You know, y'all's putters and drivers are. I just bought Craig a brand new driver for Father's Day. Those things are not cheap.
No, they're
you know?
not.
So it's all. I mean, I have 30 lip glosses in my purse right now. You know that Craig will never appreciate or understand how important every 30 one
That's
of those
at least 30.
is, how important they
Yeah.
are, you know? So
Yeah.
I think for me, that's where this becomes valuable is we all put a value on different things that we really may not understand or totally appreciate about our partner.
Yeah, and I think that if people are if they're married, then I think that needs to be determined, because I think especially if the woman is going to be staying at home with the children, then I would urge that woman and that husband to come up with a sum of money that she can use at her own discretion.
Right.
So that you don't want to,
Without all
it's not
eyes.
like going to your daddy asking for an allowance.
No.
That puts you in a not a good place.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3.
Okay. Tom, do you want to do one?
Sure. Okay, so be respectful and loving to all. This is, I mean, come on, it's the golden rule, right?
Yeah.
This is very vague, but so obvious. It goes a long way. Like, I think when you're on an airplane and you want people to like be nice to you, it starts with the way you behave around them. Don't take your shoes off.
Don't take your shoes off.
That kind of stuff. Be respectful. I don't know. I think, in my opinion, I think it's harder to be disrespectful than it is to be. Maybe it's the way I was raised, but just being polite and nice to people is so easy.
It is. I mean,
It's
just
so easy.
kind.
Yeah, it's just so
Yeah.
easy to do. And so anyone that hasn't figured that out yet, I mean, you probably just are broken and need to go away.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that you don't have to like everybody.
Nuh-uh.
And but just being kind and being, respectful, not hurting somebody. Yeah, I think that my grandmother would have definitely said that. She was so sweet.
Aw.
Yeah. Nellie.
All right. Number 4, make sure your partner shares the chores. Love this one. Nice. I like this grandmother.
Yeah.
She said, my grandmother used to say, don't make yourself too useful. She meant especially at home. Let your husband make the coffee, do the laundry, and other household chores. Heck, yes.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting about that? I guarantee you neither one of my grandfathers ever did anything from that generation. Now, my dad,
So true.
my dad helped Mom. He was really kind and available for that. So I think that's changed.
I definitely think that's changed, and I'm glad.
Yeah, me too.
I think the guys have certain things that they're better at, and the girls have certain things they're better at, just as long as it's sort of in the ballpark of equal.
Of balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we all bring different things to the table. And I'm definitely the dishes girl. Like, I do the dishes between me and Craig, but he is a phenomenal cook. And, we cook a lot together. He's always going to do the yard work. He loves doing that. I'm probably always going to do the laundry. I don't mind doing that.
Yeah,
So-
Tom does his laundry.
He
I do
does?
mine. We both do the dishes.
Yeah.
But but I think what's important about that is that if you're going to do some separate chores, then you identify them and make it kind of an agreement about it,
Yeah.
rather than assuming that you're always going to do the laundry. If you don't want to always do the laundry, then, you can talk about that. So you identify those things.
You've said before, and it was one of my favorite things that you've said on this podcast, is unmet expectations creates resentment. And when that becomes
Premeditated,
yes, say it the way you say it.
premeditated agreements without being spoken are a birthplace of resentment. Yeah.
Because if I secretly think that you should be helping me
Yeah.
and you're on the couch watching TV, then resentment grows, you know?
It does.
And I do believe that there are a lot of couples out there that have resentment in the relationship because they have expectations that are not being met.
And they're not being discussed.
Yeah, they're not being communicated.
Yeah.
That's why passive aggressiveness was invented.
That's true.
Exactly. Huffing, puffing, ignoring, stomping, slamming.
And then they say, so what's wrong? And my mother would say, nothing. You could just feel it coming off her skin.
See it coming through her teeth.
Exactly.
Okay, you want to read 5?
Sure. Oh, yeah. Shed your tears in private. My grandmother had a lot of wisdom, but her best was never let them see you sweat. You can cry at home with loved ones, but always be tough on the outside. I totally disagree with that.
I could not disagree more.
But, here we are. We are therapists, so we're all about feeling feelings. So if you need to cry, that's okay.
What's shocking is this writer said that her grandmother had a lot of good wisdom, but her best was this. Never let them see you sweat. You can cry at home with loved ones, but always be tough on the outside. I would never want to be friends with that person.
No, and being vulnerable, that's vulnerability, and that creates really good intimacy, which into me you see and into you I see, which helps you really have a good connection.
Totally.
So, yeah, I think this is archaic.
Yeah, very, very, very old.
Yeah.
I could not agree more. I don't know who those twins are in that advertising thing below this, but do you see that? These girls are beautiful.
No,
look at mine.
Oh, they
Clickbait.
Totally.
All right. Okay, this is a good one for Tom.
Yeah.
Never lose hope. Life is hard. There will be times they didn't put a B in there. Good editing. There will be times where my grandson will need to summon all his strength to preserve. My message is persevere. Sorry. My message is never lose hope and never underestimate the power of prayer.
I love this one.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, sure. Never lose hope.
You still may kick the dust off your shoes and move on down the road with it. But I think hope is a good thing to keep positive.
The picture that goes with this one is pretty funny, too, with the kid and the boxing gloves.
Yeah, he looks like he's about to punch somebody out.
He's so cute.
He's really cute.
No, I think hope is one of the best things we have in life. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the greatest gifts and one of the greatest mindsets that we can have is no matter what you're going through. I mean, your grandmother said it best. This too shall pass.
Yeah, she did.
Mm-hmm. Number 7, choose a career you love. For my own dear girls, my granddaughters, I would tell them to seek out work that you love doing. It will fill your soul. I agree with this.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, I have done shit jobs, and I've done jobs that I love, and I think it makes a huge difference in your day-to-day.
I think it would be really impossible for me to have a job that I didn't love and be happy.
Don't you think?
Because you spend a lot of time working.
Oh, yeah.
Or,
a third of your life.
Yeah.
And I think a ton of people are in jobs that they are not happy in. I could never stay there.
Yeah. I taught school when I first got out of graduate school, and that was not my passion. And I was really glad to stop teaching school, and I was grateful that I could do that because there are a lot of people who love being teachers, but it just wasn't for me.
Me neither. I was elementary education. That's what I went into school to study, and then I did my student teaching, and I was like, oh no. Yeah, I made a terrible mistake.
That's what happened to me.
Awful.
Exactly.
No. I could not agree more. You're going to spend a whole lot of time at work. So do
Tom,
what you love.
Yes.
What other jobs have you had?
Okay, so I've run the gamut from painting houses in college
Yeah.
to working a delivery driver for Mr. Goodcent Subs, which actually was really fun because I was in my car listening to music, making tips. It was a pretty fun job at that time of my life.
You were delivering sub sandwiches?
Yes.
Oh.
In Lawrence, Kansas, right before I moved here. That was my job.
That's amazing.
That's
But-
funny. You know, Blair was a pizza delivery girl
Yeah.
in Lawrence also.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Hottest pizza delivery girl ever.
Oh no, she looked like a little boy. She had to wear this little uniform.
Oh, my
And then she was a Jack Daniels girl.
And that makes more sense.
It all changed though when I moved to Dallas because I started working at a recording studio.
Yeah.
And I always knew that I was going to do music. And when music was over, when I finally threw in the towel, I came back to engineering. And it's the best fallback job for a musician you could ever imagine because I still am part of creating music and I get to play all the time. So it's a great fallback job for a failed drummer.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, I definitely love this job. It does not feel like work at all, especially since it's at my house.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
is
really
nice.
nice.
For sure.
You're really good at it.
Yeah.
well, thank
you're
you.
so good at it.
I think that when you're doing something that you love, you are good at it. Mm-hmm. It just seems to come a lot more natural. It's not like you're forcing something.
That's true.
I think if any job is hard, maybe you're not good at it. That's just maybe not all of the time, but like if you're struggling with a job, it may not be the best job for you.
Well, yeah, or if you wake up and you're like,
true.
I have to go to work.
I don't
that would
mean
be
that like a
terrible.
brain surgeon whose job is really hard. That's not what I mean. by
Yeah.
hard. I just
I know
mean
what you mean.
if you're struggling with your job,
If you're
ask
plowing.
yourself, is this the right job for me?
I agree.
I digress.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right. Whose turn is it?
You go.
I like that little girl, that picture of this
know,
little
she's
girl on
so
the
cute.
bars. Love and respect yourself. I'm about to become a grandparent, and I want to tell my grandchild, have love and respect for your family and your friends, but above all, yourself. That is, I would tell that to my grandchildren 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
Just love yourself and respect yourself and be your very best friend to
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you think most people do this, or do you think most people struggle with this?
I think a lot of people struggle with it because I think we're taught to die unto self and not revere yourself too much. You know, there's nothing if you are being unkind to people because you're being too grandiose or whatever, but loving my children and my husband would all say that I like myself better than anybody else.
That's hilarious.
It's so true. It's really true. I love there are a lot of other people that I love, but I'm my favorite.
I think that's really healthy.
Well, maybe I don't know, but I really
I
it
do.
really is because I used to not feel that way, and I worked really hard at getting to know me and loving myself. So,
I totally love myself.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of respect for myself, and I have a lot of admiration for who I am and what I've done and what I've gone through and what I've overcome and who I
Yeah.
am today and how I work. And I mean, I think that's a wonderful quality. You know, we were at the lake this weekend, and there was this precious teenage girl that was there, and she was just really confident and like you could tell she was real comfortable in her own skin. And I don't know, I looked at her, I watched her, and I thought, God, it just took me too long to get there. You know, I'm so grateful that I'm here now, but I love seeing especially women, girls, little girls, younger girls, not little girls, but young girls. I mean, the cutest thing is when you tell like a 3 or 4 year old little girl, you're so pretty. And they go, I know. Like, and then we lose, a lot of us lose that, or our parents tell us, don't be stuck up.
yeah.
You know, don't be stuck up. But it's like, maybe loving yourself isn't stuck up at all.
I don't think so.
Do you love yourself, Tom?
Yes. Yes, I 100% do. And
what's the hesitation?
Just there's, I've always kind of had a body image thing that I'm never really been comfortable with, but it's my own fault. It's just because I love to eat too much. I don't exercise enough. But like it was exposed pretty bad on this trip that we were just on, just because I'm sitting here like getting in the ocean every day. And one thing I didn't mention is the crew were like 11 models.
I'll bet.
Wow.
I'll bet.
My sisters were beside themselves over some of these guys, and they were right. These dudes were like insane, and so it was a bummer having to take my shirt off in front of those idiots. But that would be the only part of myself that I don't think is amazing.
Yeah, that's good. I mean,
but it's as simple as just changing it, I guess.
Well, I'm sure you're far from the only one who has feelings about that.
Yes,
Yeah.
Agreed. So this next one on the list is one that I personally disagree with.
Me too.
Everything happens for a reason.
I
Preach it.
totally agree with you.
Preach,
on
Tom.
that.
What do you not like about
Because
this?
so many
I
people
hate
have
this.
argued over what that reason is. Is it God or is it just luck? I mean, that's kind of like the gambler's fallacy that you're due, because they've proven time and time again nobody is due.
Yeah.
Nobody's due to win a hand of cards or a lottery ticket or whatever. So I think that everything happens for a reason almost sounds like luck to me.
Well, and the thing, so you take this saying, everything happens for a reason. And the first thing that I thought of was you, Tova, and that you lost 2 babies. They died. Mm-hmm. And that's like,
Give me one good reason.
yeah, I don't have one.
Give me a reason that my mom died when I was 5. Why was that
good-
supposed to happen?
No,
What good
it's
reason
not
is
for
that?
the best. It wasn't for the best.
It wasn't.
I think we can have experiences and use it, and our life can be enhanced in a positive way as a result of having a negative experience. But no, I'm like you, Tom. I don't go for that. It's just, it was meant to be. That's just a crock. If one of my children dies in a car wreck today and they say, yeah, it was just meant to be,
It was.
I'd knock them out.
Well, I have to say, for people who use this as like a way to try to comfort somebody else, for being on the other side of, my children or getting hit by the truck or anything negative that I've gone through or you've gone through, when somebody has come to my house and said, well, everything happens for a reason.
Or it was just God's will.
Yeah.
That's I was about to say that whenever I've heard so many people say this,
I don't
and
like it.
Immediately it's followed up with, well, no, it was God's plan.
Yeah, and I want to say, really, not my God. No.
I don't.
Shit happens.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's
But
my theory.
that's just
That's
it.
my fault.
And most of the time because of a tangible reason,
Yeah.
like not some miracle.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't something that, okay, today I think I'm going to take you out or one of your children. No.
No.
That's just, but I think that is one of the old time religious sort of a statement, that it was.
That in a weird way was supposed to like absolve the bad thing that happened because it was for a reason. Like
and it's going to turn out okay.
I do believe we can find purpose in
Well,
pain.
I think we can survive it.
Yeah. And
But I
a lot
don't
of
think
times it's just that.
But it's never going to be okay.
No.
It is never going to be okay that you lost 2
No.
children and got
No.
hit by that truck.
And in fact, when Charlie was diagnosed with a terminal illness, I remember having to reconcile with God. I remember when I was praying to him, and I would say, I don't understand why this is happening because I can't think of one good reason why it would be better for Charlie to die than it would for Charlie to be here and
Or
live.
for you to have a baby that died. It's just
It's
nonsense.
a little bit of archaic.
Yeah, we're throwing that one away.
Yep. I do like number 10. Talk,
is it?
Talk, don't text. It says, I have 5 grandchildren, and I tell them, turn your cell phones off and talk to people. Be present. There's nothing worse than kids not connecting because of their devices. I am 1,000% down with this one.
Yeah, me too. I think that there's such a difference in texting I love you and saying I love you. Now, do I expect my grandchildren to call me? No, I don't. They'll text me, you know.
And that's okay.
And I'm thrilled when they text me.
Of course.
You know. But I think that there is something that I think texting, as efficient as it may be, I think that we lose the level of connection with people when we don't hear their voice. You know, when Tom and I were dating, Tom has a really cool voice. He kind of has a radio voice, kind of like Tom in the booth. And I remember thinking about, I loved talking with him on the phone because it was just fun and I liked his voice and I felt I loved him and I was, it was just really cool. And we just texted all the time, I would have missed out on that.
That's really sweet. In fact, when I read this the first time, one of the things that I absolutely loved about Craig that really set him apart is somebody had said, there's a guy I want to set you up with. I just got a tickle in my ear.
Tickle in your ear.
And I was like, oh, okay. And usually, I mean, up until Craig, if somebody was setting, I would get a text. Hey, this is so-and-so.
Yeah.
Got blah, blah, blahs wanted me to set up. We should meet. Da, da, da. Text, they would text me. Craig is the first man that ever called. And I still have the voice message.
I love that.
And it was and I also have such an affinity for Craig's voice.
Yeah.
And it was it meant so much to me.
Yeah.
That he called and did not text.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, I agree. I wonder if Tom Gaunt likes my voice. It's kind of love it.
I love it. I know a ton of our listeners love it.
Oh, I know they do.
Okay, why don't you take 11?
Me?
Yep.
Okay, let ladybugs fly free. Grandma would kill all bugs without a second thought, but she said never kill a ladybug. She told us to be sure to catch the ladybug, make a wish, and blow them to freedom. My grandmother told me to do that too.
I've never heard of this.
And I've done that.
That's
if
cute.
I see a lady, I never kill a ladybug.
Oh, I would.
And
never.
I blow it to freedom.
Me neither.
You've never killed a ladybug?
Oh, I'm sure I did in my earlier boy days, but when they are in our house, sometimes they are in the spring, I don't even care. I just let them walk around.
Me too.
It doesn't bother me one bit. Those bugs
they're harmless.
They're super.
They're kind of sweet.
Yeah, they are cute.
They're like little puppies.
Bugs. They're the puppies of bugs.
They
That's
are
right.
the puppies of bugs. Now, then we talk about cockroaches.
I hate those things.
Oh, I hate it. I tell you, the other day I walked in my laundry room and there was a cockroach walking down the wall that was the size of a small child. I got my fly swatter and you would have thought that I was like a murderess.
That's almost not enough weaponry.
I know. It was gigantic.
I hate roaches. Oh, I'm getting itchy just thinking about them. They're the worst. Well, I'm going to make a wish next time I see a ladybug. I've never heard that, but that's cute.
Isn't it cute? All right.
All right, Tom, you want to tackle 12?
Yes, because it's so stupid. I'm so cynical. You're giving me all the good stuff here. This one is, there's a women's department in heaven. Okay. My grandmother once told me there is a special place in heaven for women just because we're women.
I agree with that.
I think it's stupid.
Maybe-
I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
Then maybe if that's, maybe they just changed the headline because I agree with the advice, but a woman's department in heaven, that just, there's such a...
I'm teasing. I don't believe that.
I mean, department store seaman equated.
Yeah.
Like the
no
whole
doubt.
word department.
And the photograph on this, each one of these sayings has a little photograph, and there are these women that are in a department store in front, one woman behind the counter, and then like 7 others that are in front of the counter, and it's a beauty camera. And all the women have on hats and all of that. It's a very archaic.
It is a very
Women are amazing. But
yeah,
I feel
but
like
so are men. I mean,
it seems like one
Whatever.
of the benefits of getting to heaven would be that you would not have to go shopping anymore.
yeah. Amen to that,
Oh,
Tom.
I like to shop.
I know you've said that, and I hate it. Hate it.
I like to shop.
Passion.
Oh well.
Oh, well. Okay, 13. Don't be afraid to tell the truth. My grandmother would say, dear, there is nothing that you can say that will shock me.
Oh,
You want to make a bet? Oh, my God. This grandmother she didn't have your children or my children
or me.
or me.
I could never have.
So
I would.
true.
No, I would never. There's nothing that you can say that will shock me. I guarantee you, if I told my grandmothers my minuet joke, they.
Oh, God. And I really don't even understand why the reference of what's shocking has anything to do with don't be afraid to tell the truth.
It's crazy because the truth will set you free is not what this means. That it's almost like she's saying, go ahead and tell your friend what she needs to hear.
Yeah, or
You know
go
what I'm
ahead
saying?
and tell your mother that
Yeah.
you drank a bottle of whiskey last night. Go ahead and tell them the truth.
Yes. I do agree that we should tell the truth. But I have been afraid to tell the truth.
Yeah. I don't really necessarily. If I said I want you to tell me every crazy experience
God,
you ever
no.
did from my,
No,
I don't
no,
want
no.
my children telling
No,
me that everything.
me neither. In fact, I know there's things that my children do, have done, will do. I will be just fine if I never find. What I know is enough. What
make
I
you
know
nervous.
is enough for me to know that I don't want to know at all.
Well, and if somebody comes to me and they have on a horrible outfit or something, and they say, "Do you like this outfit?" I'm not going to say, "Ooh, no, I think it's awful."
I would say, I think you could find something better.
Yeah, I might just say, "I don't know."
I don't know. That's hilarious. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I wouldn't be caught dead in it, but you might like it.
Something for everyone.
That's true.
Okay, Janice, take on 14.
Okay. Have a good work ethic. I want my grandchild to have integrity, pride, and a good work ethic. I think a good work ethic is important because I think that I think we have to define that for ourselves. What does that mean? Does it mean that you're on time when you go to work? Does it mean you finish? If you start a task, you finish it. You'd have to define that for for yourself. But I think that's working in your value system is really important for our self-esteem.
Yeah, I totally agree. I would like to think that I have a good work ethic, and I've tried to instill that in my children too. Like, be on time, finish what you start. Da, da, da. But I think it's really important what you just said, like defining that for yourself, defining that for people who might work with you or for you, and making sure you understand what that definition is from the person that you work for.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's important to you?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You want to finish this off with 15, Tom?
Sure. 15 is simply do your best. I want them to always be respectful, honest, and kind to others. And my message is put your best self forward and always do your best. Okay, so this kind of reminds me of a movie I just saw on the airplane on the way home from Italy.
What was it?
It was something I had seen before, but and y'all have definitely seen it, but seeing it the second time way later was really great. And this reminds me of that, and that is Crazy Stupid Love.
I never saw that.
Yeah.
Where Steve Carell is basically told by his wife that she wants a divorce, and he's kind of slovenly and wears like too big a size clothes and New Balance sneakers, and she just kind of fell out of love with him because he was not putting his best foot forward. And in comes Ryan Gosling to help him change his ways.
I thought it was saving her, not saving
No.
him. I haven't seen the movie.
Ryan Gosling sees him at a bar being pathetic, like down in the dumps, and kind of goes over and just becomes his like mentor in finding his manhood again. It was a hilarious movie.
Wow, I gotta watch this.
It was so true because this is something I experienced when I met Maureen. I was no slob, but I was not putting my best foot forward in so many ways, and she brought me up to speed, not like immediately, but just over time. I sort of see how it's very important. I mean, even our band, like we used to go on stage barefoot because we just didn't care. We're like, I'm not dressing like a band person would dress. I'm just going to be comfortable. Well, when we look at these pictures of ourselves like 20 years ago, we looked like idiots barefoot in shorts and T-shirts. We should have at least had the same like style together. Just put an effort of putting our best foot forward in what we were wearing. It would have gone such a long way. It's hilarious, but I know I'm talking sort of on the outside. Do your best, but it's very important. Like it does change how you feel and how you perform when you're like putting your best foot forward, on the outside.
I think it goes back to what you said. How we show up in the world, for the world, with the world. It does affect our self-esteem. It affects how we feel about ourselves. And I think that if you don't have to do it perfectly, but I do believe that effort does make a big difference in how you feel about yourself.
Yeah, 100%. I think so too. I really do. Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting to, but I also think there's a place for you don't have to be perfectly. Together, to where there's a little bit of leeway.
I also think it's important, going back to what you said, everybody's definition of that is different because, Carter's best is very different than my son Carter, is very different than George, my other son's best.
Yeah.
And Carter, for a long time growing up, he has been really hard on George because he doesn't think George is making as big of an effort, with sports or, what. And I'm like, he's not you.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not you. And so I really think whatever your value system is around that is really important, and not assigning my best to your best.
That's the difference,
Mm-hmm.
People do pick up on that, like, even though you may not think people are, when they see you for the first time, or just when you see somebody in the grocery store, you can just kind of tell just by one glance at somebody if they're mailing it in or actually trying. And I'm certainly not trying to say perfect, because that's absurd.
None of us are there.
That would be exhausting. But it's funny when you see, like, kind of dressing up nice and then looking at pictures of yourself 15 years ago when you weren't, you're kind of like, why was I ever like that? You know what I'm saying? It's really funny.
Because you were anti-establishment in a little bit of a way.
Maybe. I think more stonery is the right description.
That could have been it.
Well, hey, I'm glad we found one that you agree with, Tom.
Yeah, no, totally. That one, do your best, which... It's so funny. It's kind of the same as have a good work ethic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so many of the others. These are all very related.
I can see that in just the very little exposure that I've had of you being a dad, that this is something that I can tell you believe in this the way that you are raising Betty.
And you want
100%.
her to do that.
Absolutely.
You know,
I feel like it'll help be easier for her if, you have to do some parenting. Like, you can't just.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I want it to be easy for her. And I don't have to be her grandmother to convey this to her.
You know, one of my favorite sayings is anything worth doing is sometimes worth doing half-ass. Because I was such a perfectionist growing up and my parents were pretty perfectionistic. And so I learned to give myself permission to not always do my best. Sometimes I can just do it maybe halfway. Maybe I make up the bed and I just make it up halfway, or maybe I can... if my hair is dirty, I can put a baseball cap on instead of wash my hair or whatever.
I think that's incredible advice for people who have that type of personality. I've never struggled to be perfect. Like that's just not a.
Well, I'm not perfect,
but there are people who really try so hard. And
I don't really anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I know you used to be like that. And I know we have a ton of people listening who are in that headspace. And I think that's a really important concept because people in my camp need to, my pillows don't have to be perfect on my bed, you know? Whereas I'm sure for you, you like...
Fluff them
up
on the top.
Yep.
All 9 of them.
I think that's a really important
hilarious.
perspective that's going to help a lot of people who struggle with the fluffing and the slicing of the pillow.
The karate chop you put in there.
Yeah, you got to put it at the top.
You know all about that, Tom.
I bet you do. Yeah, because your house is pretty perfect looking.
Totally perfect. Your pillows are chopped, now, especially now that Betty's at camp. Oh, when my kids are gone, everything's chopped.
Oh, yeah.
If you have no idea what we're talking about, just Google fluffing pillows with a karate chop.
How to fluff
properly,
the right way.
Properly fluff pillows.
It's almost like you're making the pillow imperfect as the last thing you do to it.
Well, it just gives you a little extra design to it. There's a little shape, a different shape. And I did it today because Buddy did it. He didn't fluff the pillow.
I did it too this morning. It's kind of embarrassing.
It is kind of embarrassing.
Well, we hope that these 15 little nuggets from Grandma will help make your week a little bit better.
Tutu. My grandmother word is tutu.
Yeah.
That's Hawaiian for grandmother.
Tutu.
No, call me Grandma.
Or Mimi or whatever your grandma's name is.
Tutu.
And be sure to listen next week for the last, what do we have, 14 more to go or so?
Yes, we do.
All righty. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye. Thanks for listening.